What are the top key issues facing the hospitality industry here at the end of 2019? Earlier this month, I was fortunate enough to meet with some CFOs from large and small hospitality companies, operators that operated across the country, and the primary concern was the employment costs. It was on everybody's mind, and this was not only from the increasing minimum wages, that standard, but also coming from scheduling mandates. We're seeing this across the country where employers are required to provide employees with predictive scheduling, and if the schedule changes within a certain time frame before the employee works, the employer has to pay a penalty. We're also seeing a lot of paid sick leave and other forms of paid time off requirements under the law. We're seeing a lot of joint employer issues, and we're also seeing a lot of employee training mandates as well. Here in California now, employers by the end of 2020 will have to train all employees on sexual harassment. So these costs add up, and underlying all of this is the cost of defending lawsuits as well. So the employment costs are adding up, and they're becoming a primary cost in operating a restaurant across the country. The second issue that we saw was a primary concern for a lot of operators, especially here in California, was the new law AB 5, which limits the employer's ability to classify workers as independent contractors. How this is going to affect the restaurant industry is the cost of food delivery by using these third-party delivery companies such as Postmates, DoorDash, and Uber Eats is going to increase. It's inevitable with this new law coming through. The cost is going to have to increase, and it's going to have an impact on the restaurant industry. How much of an impact is yet a little bit unknown, but it will have an impact in some manner because the cost of delivery will be going up if those workers have to be classified as employees. Now, third, the scheduling mandates that I mentioned before, often called Fair Work Week or predictive scheduling, has many unintended consequences for the hospitality industry. A lot of operators have to change schedules based on weather or based on parties and catering orders that come in that were not known. And this flexibility that has been kind of a hallmark in the hospitality industry is really threatened by these predictive scheduling requirements. And definitely, if passed, will increase the cost of doing business. Now, fortunately, here in California, we don't have any of those laws in place yet at the end of 2019 here, but operators need to be aware of these laws and pay attention to those laws coming through in the future. Now, the fourth issue, we see a lot of operators turning to software to help manage these costs. And this software is nothing out of the ordinary. We're not talking about robotics in the workplace, which I'll talk about here in a minute, but just basic software and help managing the workforce, onboarding employees, scanning documents, making sure employees can communicate with each other efficiently electronically. There's a lot of software out there that can help minimize the costs in dealing with employees and managing employees and scheduling employees. And good operators are already using the software to help manage and maintain their costs going forward. So the fifth point that came up was automation, and a lot of operators are looking towards automation. Now there's companies like Miso Robotics that are making robotic hamburger flippers, but there's some basic technology that's available and operators are already using, such as having customers order through their iPhones and picking up the food. So sophisticated operators are looking to this technology that's real world that exists right now to help manage these costs going forward. So with that, those are the 5 key issues I saw facing the hospitality industry going forward and what operators are doing to address that. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please let us know as usual. Thanks.